Hey, what's up everybody? Bucket here, and today I'm going to be doing a simple and fast guide for all of you, for those of you especially who want to make easy money in World of Magic without having to do much. It really only takes about 10 minutes. However, all you will need to have bad karma or not care about your good karma going down. So for those of you who have hero or want to stay in hero, I would probably not use this guide. This method is very effective, and I really like to use it on my own. And I'm planning to make a lot more guides like this for World of Magic in the future. So stay tuned to my channel, I guess. But really, depending on how lucky you are and how fast you can go, you can make hundreds of crowns an hour using this method. But yeah, saying all that, let's just get into the guide. So one last thing before we actually get into the meat of the guide, you could say. I'm going to show you the map and the route we're going to be traveling throughout this guide. So as you can see here, Ironport's in orange, Riverville's in red. This little hole in the woods is in pink, and an abandoned house I like to go to is in purple, as well as Summerhold being in that kind of yellowish color. So for this guide, you can actually start in either Ironport or Summerhold. It doesn't matter, but I like starting in Ironport, and I'll explain why pretty soon. You can also just forgo Ironport. I forgot to say that, but you can just basically go in that straight line shape if you want. But I like going to Ironport because it does have a lot of chests in it. So you want to guide. You probably want to mark these spots for your guide. You can see here. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the pink and purple spot. So the pink spot is this random little hole in the ground in the woods, and it has about 6 chests in it, and it's very easy to get, and it doesn't take very much time, and it's right in the route, and that's why I like to stop here. And the purple spot is right after you cross the ocean, because you're going to be crossing the ocean from pink to purple. You can stop there and get about 6 chests. And then Summerhold, there's the bank and the Royal Vault, which has a ton of stuff in it. So this route is very optimized. I think it's very good. I think that you guys will like it when you ultimately go on it later. So yeah, let's actually get into the traveling part of the guide. Okay, starting on Ironport, here we are, and let's go and get started with the bank here. So as you see, you're gonna want to go in here. You do want a destructive magic. If you don't have destructive magic, you're gonna be kind of screwed here because you need to get through this wall and get these chests. So here I get about 5 chests. It's pretty good yield. I usually get around there. And immediately, as soon as I get through there, I'm gonna head to these warehouses in the back. Now, I usually don't take this route, but since the Magic Council was attacking me, I had to. Usually, I'll go in the warehouse on the other side first, but it didn't. It worked out either way. And as you can see here, this Magic Council member, I think it's a captain actually, with a light. You got to really avoid those kind of captains because they will just absolutely shred you. And I accidentally used Steel Shell here. That was a misclick on my part. And then I kind of bumbled around trying to get in the warehouse. But usually, you get about 4 chests from this warehouse, so that's a pretty good yield, I'd say. So as soon as we are out of here, we just got to dip. We do not want to deal with the Magic Council because there are some captains who can just absolutely shred you, especially if they're using magics to do heavier damage and light. It's important to keep your magic energy charged, especially if you're level 60, as you need to use your magic boosts or magic high jumps in order to get out, as usually, at least, will recharge stamina while using my magic high jumps. And now that we are out of Ironport, we're going to head to Riverville. Now that we're arriving in Riverville, you probably noticed that it's pretty much partially destroyed by some other people who were already here. But that doesn't matter because the bank and warehouse were untouched, which is the only 2 things we're really here for. Riverville really only has its 2 buildings, so the rest of it's not really worth trying to loot. But these do get pretty good yield, probably at least 6 chests on average for these 2 buildings. But yeah, you really should not be underestimating the Magic Council still. The captains are very dangerous. Unless you're like a pure defense build, if you get caught in the open with one of their beam attacks, you're pretty much just dead. It's really bad. But yeah, as you can see, I just flew to the warehouse, and now it is time to head to the little dugout spot in the woods. Yeah, I'll see you there. Okay, so now that we are arriving in this little dugout spot in the woods here, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. So, this very little known spot, but it's a spot that, like you can see here, spawned about 6 chests. However, I wasn't ambushed by the Magic Council, so you do got to be careful of that. They can do a ton of damage to you right here. As you'll see right here, that captain using light right there, if those had hit me in like an open spot, if I didn't know those trees behind me, I probably would have died. But yeah, you need to prepare to cross the ocean at this point, as you are going to be needing to use your magic high jumps across the ocean. You can go around, but it is a lot slower. So that's why I'd recommend doing this if you're at least level 50, because then you can use these magical high jumps like I'm doing here to get across the ocean. But yeah, I'll meet you at the abandoned building. Okay, so now we're arriving at the abandoned building, which is a little pit stop in between Summerhold and the little hole in the ground back there. If you were watching, it was kind of sped up, but I was attacked by the Magic Council captain in the ocean, but they had light beams. So if that happens to you while you're crossing a little ocean, if you get in the water, it becomes impossible for them to hit you. So just dodge their beam attacks or any other attacks they have by swimming in the water for a bit. But otherwise, I just recommend crossing. And so we're almost at Summerhold, and I'll see you there in just a second. Okay, so now that we've arrived in Summerhold, you want to go straight to the bank here before the Magic Council can do anything. As soon as you're in the bank, you want to use your spell to break the walls, and you want to loot this bank. I only had one chest in this particular run, but usually I have a lot more. And as soon as you get out of the bank, you're going to want to immediately head into the front, not the back, of King David's little castle thing. You want to go in the second door on the left and go all the ways up these stairs. Now, I'll explain why. If you go up from the top back, you're going to be running across the whole room with King David being able to see you. This room puts you out in about the middle, so he won't have very long to see you, and therefore not very long to shoot you. Because if he does shoot you, you're pretty much going to die unless you have a pure defense build. Now, I was lucky in this run, and King David actually wasn't in the room, so I was able to get the treasures without having to worry about anything. But as soon as you do that, you just want to escape and hide. And then if you can get out of combat, you can server log and just repeat this process. And I think this is a very good way for you to do this. But, yep, now it's going to the outro. So yeah, everyone, that's the guide. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this guide helps you. I try to keep it short and sweet as possible, and I think I did just that. If this guide does help you, please leave a like in the video, maybe even share it with your friends, because I think that this can help a lot of people, and this is a very efficient way of getting crowns. I'm going to probably make a lot more guides like this in the future. Like, I'm planning to do a magic tier list pretty soon. I've been collecting a lot of statistics for that, and I think I can probably make it a very good objective tier list. That'll be out pretty soon, as well as a few other videos I have planned. So, yeah, just keep watching my channel, I guess. You should see some more stuff up here pretty soon. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you all later.